Inflation, shrinkflation, price gouging, whatever you want to blame it on, things are just more expensive these days. At least that's the way it feels for most of us, right? Inflation has dropped dramatically, obviously, since its peak in 2022, but that doesn't mean that prices have come down for all of us. And now the president says he's going to try and do something about it. Now, I'm going to give you a little reality check. America is a capitalist society. Companies base their prices on what the current market will bear. And right now, the current market is bearing these higher prices because people, either by choice or out of necessity, are paying them. And the fact is, there's not a lot any president can do to force private companies to lower their prices for goods and services. That's just not how capitalism works. So instead, this morning, the president announced he was launching a new strike force focused on what he can control, cracking down on unfair and illegal pricing. So what does that really mean? Well, federal law does not explicitly prohibit price gouging on a day-to-day basis. However, most states do absolutely forbid it, especially when it comes to essential supplies during a declared state of emergency. But what about every other day of the year? Well, the thing is, companies can obviously jack up their prices and just hide it by blaming perfectly legal excuses like higher labor costs or problems with their own supply chain. But what is illegal and what they cannot do is use anti-competitive, unfair, deceptive, or fraudulent business practices to artificially increase their prices. And those are the things this new strike force will focus on. There will be representatives from the Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission included who will be able to look into these companies who may be violating these laws to keep prices artificially high on things like prescription drugs or healthcare, food, grocery, housing, and financial services. Now expect to hear much more about this new strike force during the President's State of the Union address on Thursday night.